Oh, you're really going to enjoy this one. Hit the intro! This video, as you might have guessed by the title, is about SPF, UVA and UVB protection. So you know what to do: like, subscribe, follow, share me everywhere. If there was one product that I could not live without, it would be SPF. SPF is a preventative. SPF stands for sun protection factor, and prevention is better than cure. But what I'm hoping by doing with this video is educating you all a little bit more on SPF and the importance of having it within your skincare routine. For one, if you don't have SPF in your routine, there's no point in having one. SPF, like I've mentioned, is a preventative, and without it, what's the point in doing everything else that you're doing to your skin? What's the point in applying retinol? And if anything, if you're applying products such as retinol, you're then heightening damage that can then be done through UVA rays. So when it comes down to SPF, I understand why a lot of people might be put off from the fact that they think they're going to be covered in a white cast. This is where it's all about finding ones that suit your skin and apply nicely to the point where you can then apply makeup on top of. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of confusion in the industry as to when SPF should be applied. Personally, I apply it under makeup, but you can now buy spritzes or sprays that can go on top. Now, these are great, but in order for you to apply the correct amount, these sprays aren't enough. So personally, I would say apply an SPF underneath, apply your makeup, and then apply a spritz on top. I don't really wear makeup in the day, only when I go out. So when it comes down to what I apply for my skin, I literally just apply an SPF as part of my skincare routine every single morning without fail. There are UVA rays 365 days a year, 366 on a leap year. They don't go away. So what I want to do now is talk a little bit about when they're present and how we can obviously prevent them from damaging our skin and what they actually do to our skin. So think of UVA, UV aging. So the UVA rays that are present 365 days a year are the ones that are going to age our skin. UVB rays are the burning rays. They are the ones that are present when we go out and we get burnt by the sun. UVA rays have the ability to penetrate deep into the dermis and destroy collagen. Collagen is something that we want within our skin. Collagen and elastin are things that deplete. So why on earth would we not be applying a product that can help prevent that? This is where I say prevention's better than cure. Applying something like an SPF is going to save you so much money and so much aging down the line that one simple product could literally prevent. UVA rays, like I've mentioned, are present all year round. From the minute the sun rises till the minute the sun goes down, the intensity of the UVA rays are exactly the same. So if you can read a book outside and you don't need a light, you need to have SPF on. You might think that if you work, say, in an office or maybe you drive for a living, that you don't need to wear SPF, but you are so wrong. UVA rays can penetrate through glass and they can penetrate through clouds. So even on a cloudy day, you must have SPF on. For example, if you work within an office and you have a window next to you, the chances are that side of your face has got a lot more sun damage or aging characteristics than, say, the other half of your face. It's so important that no matter where you are going, what you are doing, you have SPF on every single day. I've got it on now and I'm not even leaving the house, but at least I know if I'm near a window or I'm sat doing something, that I am covered against UVA damage. There's always been a lot of confusion when it comes down to star ratings, when it comes down to SPF. Now, I'm not going to go into it in too much detail because this video is mainly to educate you on the importance of wearing SPF, but I am going to touch on it. But when it comes down to things such as finding a SPF that protects you against UVA damage, look out for PA, PPD, UVA, and broad spectrum. These are the things that are going to protect you against UVA damage. When you're looking at things that are protecting you against UVB damage, that is when we look for SPF. But I'm obviously going to go into that a little bit more in detail and talk to you now about UVB damage. So as mentioned before, UVA stands for aging and UVB stands for burning. You've probably all been burnt by the sun, and they are by UVB rays. So those burns are quite superficial on the skin. This is when we need to apply things such as aloe vera or an after sun, something that's got something quite soothing in there or cooling, and then obviously the skin will then recover. It is a superficial burn, but this still isn't good for our skin. We don't want that to be happening, and that's why it's so important as well to reapply throughout the day. Whereas UVA rays are present all year round, and the intensity is the same from the start to the end of the day. When it comes down to UVB, they're mainly only present between 10 a.m. in the morning and 4 p.m. This is only between the months of around April to October, but obviously it depends where you are. UVB damage, and we'll all have experienced this, you sit out sunbathing and the cloud comes over and the sun goes and it's cold and we need the sun back. That is when the clouds block the UVB rays. That means that they cannot penetrate through. You are not going to be burnt through cloud with UVB rays. And this is where it's kind of trying to explain to you all that yes, those rays have gone in and you're not going to be burnt, but the UVA rays are still there and they're the ones that do the most damage. The protection terms for UVB protection is SPF, which is sun protection factor, because yes, we are protecting against the sun. But this is where people need to understand the difference between the two. SPF stands for sun protection factor, and the number beside this indicates exactly what factor that is. And this is obviously an SPF 50. This is what really we want to be putting on our face. An SPF doesn't mean that you won't tan. And I think this is a misconception that a lot of people have. They think that by applying an SPF to their face or their body that they're not going to get a colour. But this isn't true at all. SPF allows UVB rays in, and UVB rays are the ones that give us our tan. 3% of UVB rays can penetrate through a factor 30 and 2% through a factor 50. This is how you can still tan even though you have got an SPF protecting your skin. SPF does not prevent you from getting a tan. SPF prevents you from UVA and UVB damage. This in the long run is going to protect you from skin cancer, which is the most important, pigmentation, premature aging, premature fine lines, wrinkles. Honestly, I don't know why people don't apply it, and I'm hoping that by putting this video out there, people will realise that for the sake of something like £8, which I think that SPF I've just shown you is, it's worth it. But there is one thing that obviously I want to speak about as well, and that is when it comes down to people saying that they have SPF within their moisturisers or within their foundations. Unfortunately, that is not enough. In order to apply the correct amount of sunscreen for your face and neck, in order to achieve the UVA and UVB protection, you need to be applying around 1 teaspoon of product. Now, if that was in foundation terms or moisturiser terms, that's a lot of product to be applying to your face. So I'm going to show that for you now so you understand how it just wouldn't be right to apply this in foundation terms. This is actually an SPF I found recently in Home Bargains. Now, this is Child's Farm and it's ideal for a sensitive skin type, especially because it can obviously be used on babies. And I've just been using this every single day at the moment when I've been in the house, and I know I've not been leaving the house, but obviously it's protecting me against UVA damage, and it's also protecting me just in case I nip out. So I'm going to show you on a spoon exactly how much you should be applying. I would say, in foundation terms, I just don't know how I feel about applying that to my face. So when it comes down to other things that we can do to help protect our skin against UVA damage, obviously sunglasses. Now, people don't realise how much sunglasses actually do for our skin and how much they help protect. I've noticed recently on myself that I've actually got a little bit of pigmentation under my eyes. I know for a fact it's from not applying sun cream high enough, because obviously I don't want it in my eyes, and obviously not wearing sunglasses when I should really be wearing them. Then on top of that, we also have hats, obviously protect us from the sun. So I want to speak to you about as well is protecting other things such as our lips. Yes, you can apply SPF to your lips, but why not treat yourself? These are from Home Bargains, literally SPF 30, UVA and UVB protection, moisturising, water resistant, and watermelon flavour. Oh no, I'm still getting the hang of this. But honestly, lush, really enjoy this. And sometimes I just wear it any day, because obviously we want to protect against UVA and UVB. What I'm going to do now is briefly talk about some of the SPFs that I personally wear and what I'm trialling at the minute. So obviously I mentioned before this one. So this is literally a dupe of the La Roche-Posay at the moment. And it is beautiful, this. Really lightweight, and also a lot of clients that I've mentioned it to have told me how nice it is under makeup. It feels like they've got a primer on their skin. So I will put the link to all of these so you can obviously have a little gander yourself. But obviously factor 50, it's non-comedogenic, it is perfect for a sensitive skin. It's obviously a high protection because you've got your factor 50 there as well. UVA and UVB damage protection. What else have we got about this? No white cast, I know that for sure. Probably one of my favourites, this at the moment. What I use within clinic on clients. Now this is the 𝐂𝐤𝐤 factor 30. And can you see how it says PA? Now this means that it's protecting against UVA protection like I mentioned before. So it's quite good to actually show you this as a product. So this particular SPF can either be bought from myself or I can also drop a link as well. I do really like this. Like I say, it's what I put on all my clients after they've had a skincare treatment with myself, and because I'm an advocate for SPF anyway, if you leave me and it is still light outside, this is going on your skin. Then obviously we've got the Child's Farm Factor 50 SPF, UVA and UVB protection. So I also do this one in a factor 30 as well, but obviously I always go for 50. What's the point in not? What is the point in not? There's not a lot of difference, and like I mentioned before about the 3% and the 2% of UVB rays getting in, over a period of time that will add up. So always go for 50. It's not going to prevent you from getting a suntan, it's going to prevent you from getting skin cancer and premature aging. So why not? A little bit about, but not too much, on the star rating, because obviously a lot of people get confused by this. So when it comes down to star rating of certain SPFs or sun creams, I'm not personally a big believer in looking at the stars. I'm actually going to link a website below that has a little bit of information on the star ratings so you can understand it a little bit more. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I just want to touch on it so that I have covered it. So when it comes down to the star rating, in the UK it's often suggested that the effectiveness of a sun cream can be judged from its UVA star rating and not necessarily from its sun protection factor or SPF. However, an SPF 50 with 3 stars may actually be more effective than an SPF 50 with 5 stars. Whilst there's so much confusion within the SPF world with it all, I tend to just look at, has it got UVA protection? Has it got UVB protection? What's it going to do for my skin? And what's the factor? That's all I tend to look at. So when it comes down to things like the star ratings, I just don't really look at them too much, but that is just my personal opinion. This website, if you obviously want to give it a read, please do, but it explains a little bit more into detail exactly why star ratings aren't always the most important thing to look for when it comes down to SPF. But I hope that by doing this little video, you understand a little bit more about SPF and the importance, and understand that using this one product as part of your skincare routine is going to prevent so much long-term damage, and at the same time, if you don't have it in there, what's the point in even looking after your skin? What's the point in cleansing and even applying your retinols or going for a skincare treatment? There's absolutely no point if you aren't applying an SPF. And I'm hoping that a lot of my clients are watching this and understand why I stress it so much, and that maybe by me actually talking about it, even though I've done these posts on my 𝐂𝐿's Classroom, which I will post, hopefully this will make you understand it a little bit more and understand the importance of wearing an SPF, because UVA rays are here all the time. I hope you found that informative, and I hope that you've actually gained some knowledge from watching my video. Obviously do what you've got to do, like me, share me, subscribe me, do everything. Have any video requests or would like to hear more information about certain things, then obviously comment below. As I've mentioned on previous videos, I'm going to do probably series when it comes down to certain things in regards to skincare, and maybe an acne skin or an anti-aging skin, and this is just where I'm going to do a mix of everything so that I'm targeting everyone. But yeah, I'll leave you to it now.